For some OCAA men's rugby action. It's great to have you here with us for this contest between the Humber Hawks on their home field, taking on visiting Seneca Sting. I'm Matt Hamill with you for today's broadcast, alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit. So, Zach, we're out here for our coverage, the first Humber home rugby game of the year, and got a beautiful day. Certainly a little taste of autumn in the air, but all in all, Zach, it's a perfect day to be out here for the physical contest that rugby provides for us.
Yeah, and it's going to be the second game of the season for this side of Humber as well. It's going to be the second game of the season for Seneca. Humber, they got off to a red-hot start in their first one. They won 41-22, and they're sitting in fourth place right now with a 1-0 record. Seneca sitting down there in sixth place. They're 0-1. They dropped their opener 32-7. So they'll look to try to get on the right side of the schneid. But Humber, this is a rugby's team and a rugby program that has had a lot of excellence over the years, and they'll look to continue that here today.
No question, partner. Humber, the defending provincial champions, and boy, what a season that was last year for this Humber men's team. And last year it was the Hawks finishing with a perfect 7-0 record. And as you highlighted, partner, Humber 1-0 thus far. And we'll see if they can continue, maybe picking up where they left off last year. Of course, Zach, losing some key pieces compared to last year, although it seems like they've been able to pick up right where they left off, as we're kind of getting swarmed by a bee right now. A little distracting.
Well, looking at their roster, there's 12 first-year players here for the side of Humber, and they'll look to try to, get these young guys acclimated into the program. Again, obviously a good mix of veteran presidents, a lot of third-year players. Nobody on Humber is actually a fifth-year player. The closest one there is fourth-year player out of Pickering, Declan Forgy. He is the lone fourth year. Everybody else, third year or younger, I guess it would be. Oh, actually, there is a fifth-year vet. Didn't even see him down there. It's James Rob Kennedy out of Barrie, Ontario, number 8 today.
And Zach, one of the key pieces Humber no longer has on the active roster, last year's outstanding player, Prince Ndukwe. And Zach, interesting to see, he is now a member of Humber's coaching staff as an assistant coach. So what a difference that is. I mean, yeah, it's tough to lose a great player, but to still have that leadership around, I mean, that's a big factor. We'll see if, again, the defending reigning provincial champions can kind of continue on with their winning ways here.
Yeah, and again, we know how good Prince Ndukwe has been over his Humber career. Obviously a player that will go down as really one of the greats of this Humber rugby program. But now the fact that he joins in as a coach, it can help these young guys that are just getting their footing in the OCAA, give them a good chance to learn from a great.
Yeah, Prince Ndukwe was the men's rugby scoring champion in the OCAA last year. And on this Seneca side, we're looking at a team who, in the previous season, well, they finished up with a record of 1-4-1. So to see Seneca, they dropped their opening game of the year. That was a 32-7 loss. And they know they have a tough opponent standing before them today, and it'll be the Hawks getting ready to boot this one to get the party started. There's a good camera shot of that lineup of Humber Hawks players ready to get this thing going, and we are underway. And quickly returning fire, and that will roll into the thicket there off the sideline. But the Hawks will look to get it going here.
And again, this is a Humber rugby program that they've been slowly building over the years. Again, like you mentioned, partner, back in 2024-25 season last year, they were able to take home that gold medal. The year prior, though, they were silver medals. They lost in that finals, and they were slowly growing. Kind of felt like they were almost there, just on the doorstep in that 2023-24 season. And then last year, really just excellence came out of this program.
And for Seneca, a couple of players who received some of those all-star distinctions last year. Kyle Moeller, one of them. Sharif Ramadan another, but look at the Hawks just so early in this game, pinned in their own zone and not wasting any time with the opening try of this contest. And the Hawks scored just over a minute into this one, really setting the tone here in their game at home.
That looked like to be number 9, Matt Gianfrido, who just went down the run on that right side, broke through, and a beautiful try right there.
No kidding. And how's that for setting the tone? I mean, give credit to Seneca early on. If did a good job of flipping the field, but how's this for gaining some ground and just the pass there? One man to beat and a little bit of shake and bake to get that outside corner and into the try zone. And this is going to be, you know, not the easiest point after try here. Quite the angle, but we'll see if Humber can get the extra point tacked on here. It's got the leg, Zach, but it's gonna go wide. So a 5-0 game we have. Boy, this will be big for Seneca to respond because they came in here knowing they're taking on the defending provincial champion. And the Hawks able to really draw first blood.
Yeah, the kick there, like you said, just went a little wide. Looks like it kind of curled back into the field of play. But nonetheless, Humber, they should get the ball right on back and try to get something going.
Good hang time on that kick, but not able to corral it as slips through the fingers. And it's going to be good for Seneca. And again, that chance to respond here, Zach, as they are well into Humber territory. What's going to be the decision here? So a bit of a misstep for Humber, not able to corral that kickoff, has now given Seneca a chance to strike right back, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the visiting team here.
Yeah, Seneca, like I mentioned, their last game, they only had one score, 7 points.
Yeah, and for Seneca, that was, again, taking on a tough opponent, the Georgian Grizzlies. That kind of perennial powerhouse in men's rugby, and so that's certainly a tough first 2 games of the season for the Sting. You take on the Grizzlies, and then
you go straight to the Hawks.
Defending provincial champions. Now, Seneca was on home field for that matchup against the Grizzlies, but that kick is good. And that's got to be huge for the morale of the Sting. I mean, you give up that long try just a minute into the match and then strike back with some points of your own.
Yeah, it's got to feel like a really good answer back, like you mentioned, for Seneca. Able to get that through the uprights. I think the biggest thing, though, is, again, you mentioned that they had to face Georgian in their first matchup. Well, Georgia was actually the provincial champions before Humber, the year before. So they had to face back-to-back provincial champions in these rugby programs, and that's never an easy task to do.
Number 10, Liam Magukuan.
Okay, Zach, so on that far sideline. It'll be Humber. And good push here. Look at that. Things collapsing, but not after the Hawks get a strong push and advance it a little further. Another hard-fought couple of yards there.
Humber, just a very physical team. We're seeing that on display early on here.
Yeah, we're certainly seeing some bodies flying and some big physical running there. Caught on the train tracks there, as certainly some physical play on display Giving the Hawks a little edge here in this last little sequence. Finding a bit of room to run with, and another powerful finish, barreling over the Seneca defender. As the Hawks on the doorstep now. Kind of back and forth scoring in this one, but the Hawks looking to reestablish that edge as they're now just a few feet from their second try of the game. Play back into the middle. Looking to just power it in here over that goal line. Good job by Seneca as the ice cream truck has arrived on the scene. Zach, not sure if that's audible to the viewers at home.
I was gonna say,
I'll be right back on an unrelated note.
You're gonna go get it? I was gonna say I'll run and get us some. You just hold it down here hold the fort down. Yeah, Humber just advancing. You know, they just haven't stopped their physical play. You mentioned it first, the diving bodies, everybody being pushed over. And, you know, the Hawks, they're just continuing their play that they had last year where they looked like a program that was finally going to be able to get over that hump and win that provincial championship. They get that. This year they come in with a little bit more of a chip on their shoulder. You know, can they defend? They have a lot of new bodies coming in, and it looks like they have been.
2-point lead for the Hawks. Give Seneca credit here. This has been a strong defensive stand, but they're going to have to get the job done here. Showing some good fight. This could be dangerous here. Regaining some ground are the Hawks. Second push. That ball looked like it was just hanging there. And that's good for the second score of the game for the Hawks, adding another 5. Right down the alley. It was some hard-nosed rugby being played there, but ultimately the Hawks able to finish the job. And so after Seneca did really do a good job striking back with those 3 points, Humber right back adding on some more for a 10-3 game. And in fact, it should be a lot easier for the 2-point convert now.
And I believe the try was scored. They just announced by first-year player Jace Cross. He's able to get that in. So the Hawks extend their lead up to 10-3 now. And it was Cross just kind of sneaking in, and he taps that ball right down in the try zone. Great setup here to try to get something going.
Zach, it's a 6-game regular season format for OCAA men's rugby this year, and that one is good. So make that 12-3, so a 9-point difference right now as Humber not wasting much time finding the try zone.
Yeah, great boot right through those uprights. Couldn't have been set up any more perfect, nearly centered.
So no problems here early on for the Hawks finding the in-goal area. Another good kick by Seneca right away, and a little bit of extra stuff. Some John going on, a little shoving, and the teams will separate as the Seneca Sting with a good kickoff. Okay, Zach.
I believe a yellow card has just been issued.
Okay, Zach, going to hand out the punishment, and that's going to put the Hawks in the position here to break out of their own zone as they get another chance to go on the offensive here. And that's booted out of play.
Partner, I was getting excited. I left my house. There was a nice little breeze outside. It is becoming a scorcher of a day.
Yeah, I think the hubbub was that Saturday was going to be cold. Zag's going to be 14 degrees. I mean, we're cooking in the sun right now, and again, we'll take it while we can get it with the month, or pardon me, the season of autumn beginning on which day, Zach? Monday.
I almost said Sunday again.
So only 2 days away from the new season, but certainly been blessed with a little late summer action this week. And it's making for some great Saturday afternoon OCAA men's rugby as the Hawks coming to that near side, losing the grip, but the loose ball is right there for the Hawks at that midfield line. So right at halfway, the Hawks not quite able to get that last pass off smoothly. It bounces around, and that's going to lead to this scrum.
If you're at home, got to make sure you have your laces tied. That's what the stoppage here is. So somebody tying their shoe.
And even if you're not playing, you're just watching at home now, it might be a good time to check if those laces are tied.
You don't want to get up and trip.
I'm doing okay right now.
I think I'm all right as well, too. Yep, we're good.
Velcro, Zach, that's what I advocate for. You never have to worry.
You do the loop-de-loop, then pull, and then your shoes are looking good.
How about that? Cleanly won, and the Sting advancing it up, but meeting a pretty tight wall of Humber defenders. Some bodies crashing in there as Seneca keeps it on that near side of the field. It's getting nasty there as the guys are fighting for that ball on the ground. Physical play, but how about the speed? My goodness, that's going to be great for the Sting, gaining lots of ground and finding themselves well into Humber territory and maybe answering with a try of their own. They're on the doorstep. Okay, Zach, it is big part of this first half right now as the Humber Hawks, so far they've been able to score 2 tries. Seneca answering with that 3-point kick of their own. And now Seneca really looking like their best chance here to score and answer with a try of their own. But see if Humber's defense maybe can find the answer here, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of yipping going back and forth between a couple players. Looked like it was number 18, Brian Mann, for the side of the Hawks, and then number 23 on the other side. They were just kind of going back and forth with words. And it kind of led to this open area because there's 2 players bickering on this side of the field, and the play pushed to the far left.
Zach, you get a sport as physical as rugby, it's not hard for the temper and the emotions to really take center stage. And seen a little bit of that early in this game. Some great tone-setting emotion right out of the gate. Humber once again on their heels defensively as I think we had a big collision there. A couple players taking some extra time to get back to their feet. In fact, one member of the Humber Hawks is taking quite some time, you see there, as a member of the training staff has, or 2 members of the training staff have come out here.
Yeah, 2 players just kind of had a big collision, and looks like he'll be getting up and he's okay, trying to walk it off. It's always tough. Like you said, rugby, very physical sport. You know, it takes a toll on the body, but these players You got to wonder if they just have a love for the game or are a little bit psycho with how much they like hitting one another.
Well, you got to love the sport, Zach, and these types of physical sports, you know, just a great outlet for these young men. And that will be kicked into the tent of the Seneca sideline, and that's going to keep the ball on Humber's side of the halfway line. And the Hawks with possession here. Passing to the outside, that ball mishandled, and luckily able to corral that pass, which was initially just on the grass. Looking for a little lane, not gonna find it there. Hawks work it back to the middle now. And Seneca fans fired up as that's going to draw a whistle. And will they elect for another drop goal? I mean, they're in prime territory here, Zach, but of course for the Sting, scratch that. We got a scrum coming up.
And there's a lot of physical pressure on this left side. Humber tried to get down the left wing, but the Seneca Sting absolutely shut it down. Then they tried to reverse the play. You can see them, they were going back towards the middle of the field, but no open or no avenue available.
Ball is in and scooped up as Seneca has really sustained the offensive pressure here, and that pass ill-advised, hanging right there for the Hawks to scoop up. Back into the middle, and the passing for Humber has looked quite shaky the last little while as another drop ball is going to work against Humber. A little bit of self-inflicted here at times for Humber as they've allowed Seneca to really continue this offensive push.
And they've been on their back foot a little bit here for the last couple of minutes as we're getting to the midway point of this first half.
These counter punches by Seneca, right? As Humber scored the opening try of this contest, Seneca answering with that drop goal. Humber then charging back down the field, scoring again, converting the point after. And then here comes Seneca applying the pressure. Can the Hawks find an answer here, or is the Sting going to finish up this long offensive push? Give Humber credit. I mean, they have answered the call. And there it is, the opening try of the match for the Seneca Sting. Pushing it in, and the fans for the visiting team are fired up as that was a hard-fought couple of points there for the team in black.
Well, you mentioned a hard-fought try, and I believe it looks like it's number 6, Santiago Benavides.
And there's another look, Zach, as this was a key moment right here. Some bodies flailing around, but the ball scooped up, and Seneca able to just get behind that defensive line and fired up as the convert kick is coming up.
I was gonna say, look at this. We have a great view of this kick.
Yeah, and here's basically our view exactly with the camera right over our shoulder, Zach. Should be great for everybody at home as well to see if this thing is fair or foul. It is quite an angle here, Zach, so a long way to go, and that had enough leg, but wide left. And so the score will remain 12-8, and back and forth contest here in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it looks like that one was cutting back to the right a little bit, but just didn't have enough distance. It started cutting back just a little bit too late.
So for Seneca, everything started with that penalty kick to get their scoring going. There, they answer with the try. Now, is this game going to continue with this pattern? Is it Humber's turn now to get on the offensive, or have Seneca really established enough momentum over the past few minutes to put pressure right back on the defending provincial champion, Humber Hawks?
Yeah, they're keeping it close. I think that's the biggest thing right now.
Line out on that far sideline. It's the Sting with possession here, although they're heading in the wrong direction right now, courtesy of some good gang tackling for the Hawks. Another good physical collision there. Booted away, partially blocked, and that could be big as getting a running start into it. And again, the shake and bake. Oh, a magnificent move and well earned there. That was just a perfect storm coming together for another Humber score. And that was just the whole team coming together there. The partial block and then picking it up with a full head of steam. Putting on some nice moves you typically only see in a Madden video game, Zach. And then that created the lane for the score.
Looked like a little shake and bake CMC Christian McCaffrey type move right there. Little kick step and a beauty. Looked like it was number 9 once more, Matt Gianfrido, who just cuts in perfectly.
Yeah, look at him scoop it up, just fully in stride, Zach, and that just really caught the Seneca team off guard.
Yeah, and he just used that burst of speed, like you said. He had that little hop move. One of my favorite moves to see out of players when they're taking off down the field is to do that, the hop skip and then take off right when they land. And Gianfrido did that to perfection.
Yeah, it can be a frustrating experience, Zach, when you're trying to track that fast athlete down for trying to make that tackle, but he was gone. And another score for the Hawks, answering quickly. So, Zach, we've certainly seen a pattern here. I'll say it again. It's been back and forth. Now, it's on Seneca now to respond. Before this convert kick, which is another sure thing, as that was right down the alley. And 19-8 is our score. So Zach, scrum right at the midfield area.
At that halfway line.
Good push by Seneca, although it's the Hawks who quickly scoop it to the outside, and good yardage gained there. Let's see if Humber can find another lane. This time just a physical charge right up the gut. Fake pass, and that's going to be a great gain and a physical finish there with the Seneca tackler flying a couple yards in the opposite direction. Big truck stick move. This has been a physical drive by Humber, and really a good way to break that pattern, not allowing Seneca to answer right away, as it's the Hawks after that recent try and successful convert kick, right back on the offensive. The whistle will slow things down here.
I'm seeing some of these big hits, and you know my ribs and back are hurting watching this right now. It's a physical matchup between these two teams.
No question, partner. It's fun to watch, and it's not just the physical play. Of course, we've seen some great skill and the speed. Yellow card issued. So Seneca picking up another yellow. Saw that quite a bit earlier in this first half.
Again, obviously, if you're Seneca, you had a frustrating opening game of the season. Then Humber have come out, and they played pretty dominant to start against you, so frustrations might be boiling a little bit. But the Sting have also played a really good game to get this one underway.
No question, and that's going to be a big point of emphasis for Seneca, as once we approach halftime, can they still be in a good position, or do the Hawks do what maybe they expected they'd be able to do, which is pull away early in this one? Right now, still a close contest, but for Humber, another chance here deep in Seneca territory to increase their lead. Working it into the middle. Good yardage there. And another try for Humber, Zach. Scratch that. No, that's actually going to be a stop in the action. From our angle, it looked like they might have been.
Yeah, a little bit hard to see that that in-goal area.
So a goal line stand is what the Seneca Sting need to see here. And that's a great job by Seneca for now to get possession. Strong tackling, not allowing what could have been a huge play for Seneca. And another strong tackle there for Humber, pushing the Sting back a little further.
Yeah, and they probably backtrack about 5 to 7 yards there on that play by Humber.
My goodness, look at this foot speed, and now just one man to beat, and he will spin off. My goodness. And that's good for another score for the Hawks. So 3, make that 4 tries for the Hawks here.
Looked like that was Gospel Oganano.
Let's take a second look here, Zach, as Seneca, this could have been a big turning point here, but the tackle made and booted away, and then Humber wasting no time with another try here, Zach. Like that fake kick, and that bought him some space. And then look at this, spinning off the tackle. Oh.
And he just slides in, gets the try, gets a big 5 points for his team.
You know, this open field tackling, so challenging when you have some of these Humber players with such speed. But not just the speed, Zach, the running skill, the elusiveness, and that's led to a number of Humber scores here just in this first half.
Oganana, just really a great run there by Gospel. It looks like that kick was just missed.
Humber's first win of the season was back on last Sunday on the 14th. A 41-22 win over St. Lawrence. The Hawks were out in Kingston for that one, but now getting to play one in their own barn on a beautiful sunny Saturday, and so far so good. 24-8, and handled nicely as the Hawks have had some trouble on kickoffs, not being able to secure that ball, but a little bit of ball security issue there to pin the Hawks a little further back in their own end. Looking for some space up the middle, but Seneca plugging it right up with a couple big fellas. Now gaining a little ground, pushing it a bit further to the outside. Good second, third effort there to push it a little further. Seneca liking the call here as they're going to get the ball right back deep in Humber area. And Seneca getting the call their way here. It would be huge for Seneca to get a score on this one as we're heading into the later stages of this first half. And Zach, just that psychological thing of heading into the break with the score a little more even. Right now, Humber has certainly showed some signs of pulling away, but this could be a big drive here if Seneca could find the end zone here.
Well, yeah, Humber closing in on a 20-point lead. But like you mentioned, if you can just get it one more try here, if you're the Sting, obviously it would help the momentum going forward into that second half.
The Sting have found the in-goal area once in this contest. They're only a few yards away from their second effort. But just such strong play there. Really a good individual effort. And that ball comes loose, but Seneca liking the call here as they're going to get right back to business. Another big score as a second try of the game for Seneca comes on a little bit of an awkward play. Seems like the Hawks were kind of snoozing there as the whistle came in, and Seneca was just already sort of uncontested, gaining some valuable yards and finishing it off there.
Well, not only do they get that try, but they also have a really good setup here for the convert kick.
Yeah, good point, partner. So this was how it worked out, and just kind of all kinds of space to work with there, and just fall right forward for their second try of the contest. So Zach, now we got a convert kick coming up. This could be big.
I think that was Liam McGuckian who got that try, and he's also going to be the one taking the kick here. So he'll be set up, and again, this could really turn the tides for the side of Seneca. Obviously, we mentioned it almost being a 20-point lead. Now, you know, you get 5 back on the board, a chance to get 7, and you close this from a double digits lead, almost 20, to a 9.
And no question, again, you think about that psychological component of heading into halftime against the provincial champions, and if you're within striking distance, a 1 or 2 score game, I mean, that is huge and could really be, you'd think, a motivating force for Seneca throughout the entirety of this contest. But as it stands right now, excellent work and just landing those counter blows as we approach that 35-minute mark. You mentioned 9 points is the difference between these two. A Seneca team that last season, just that 1 win in regulation over the course of the regular season.
So we'll just get set up here at the halfway line again. 24-15 the score with just about 5 minutes to go left in this half. And it looks like Seneca get the possession right on back. think a scrum is upcoming here, right on that halfway line. Substitutions coming on here.
Well, Zach, just a boatload of momentum that has built for the Seneca team here. Now can they keep moving in that direction and maybe draw this even closer by the time we reach that halftime break?
Well, you think of it, the best case scenario here for the Sting is they can get that to a 2-point lead for the Hawks. Sorry, a 2-point deficit they can get it to if they're able to get one last try here before half's end. But it shows you how quickly momentum can shift in a game like this where, you know, it looked like Humber were coming out of the gates red hot, playing a really strong game, and Seneca, they've been chippy. They've been chipping back every little bit that they can. A team that's definitely had a bounce back since their first game.
The ball's in. Good forward movement here as Seneca moving in with some speed. Good tackle there will keep the Sting on their side of the halfway line. Can the visiting team continue with their momentum, or do the Hawks finally answer the bell? Just been some solid play by Seneca. The Hawks not letting them get on any much forward movement here. Injured Sting player.
It was like a collision right there after the scrum. Player went down.
Yeah, we follow that kind of policy of keeping the injured players off camera. Good to see, though, the member of the Sting has all this attention, is able to get up and on his own power will make his way back to the sideline. So hoping the best for Seneca's number 21, although does appear to be in a great deal of pain. But good sign there, Zach. So looks like we'll get things back underway here with not a whole lot left here before we get into halftime.
Yeah, they're slowly working it forward. Obviously, Seneca, you can see they're just trying to talk to one another, say, listen, you know, if we can get this ball back in our possession somehow and, you know, get it over that try line, we're right back in this game. And I think that's the kind of the story that they should be talking to themselves right now, is that they are not out of this as of yet. Humber, obviously, they got to play some good defense, and they have been through these later stages of this first half.
Humber converging on that ball. Could have been dangerous, but solid tackling. But just excellent work here. Now working it into the middle as a big hit delivered. All in all, this thing got to be happy with the result as they gain serious ground into Humber's area. Met immediately with a hard tackle. And that ball pops loose. It's going to be scooped up and given right back to the Sting. And that will be kicked even deeper into Humber's defensive end. So, Zach, this is yet another big play for Seneca. They have a chance to draw even closer now.
Yeah, and we are at that 40-minute mark. So against one, I believe the ruling is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, partner, is once the ball is, if the play is dead, that's when the half will be drawn.
Well executed there by the Sting. Now looking for some space up the middle, and two tacklers coming together. Not enough to bring the ball carrier down, and now knocking on the door once again. Humber's going to need to tighten up here, or this could be a much different feeling game as we head into halftime. And there's another try by Seneca, or not, Zach. It is going to be ruled another score. And how do you like that? The defending provincial champs giving up another try late in the half, and some extra shoving, and this is escalating a little bit, Zach. It does look like the teams are separated now, but wouldn't be surprised to see something awarded to Humber in the form of a yellow card, and that's exactly what we got here.
Yeah, just a lot of extra pushing and shoving after the play, but again, in this game, it's right back into it. A 4-point deficit for the side of Seneca. Humber, they played strong, but the Sting, they've pushed an attack here in the later stages.
Well, you got to think riding high into halftime is this Sting team, and has been just what a strong finish there for the opening frame. And Zach, we saw the kind of punch, counter punch dynamic playing out. It was favoring the Hawks as their score was, their lead was increasing. And look at it now, down to a lead of only 2 points here.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't look like they were going to go for the convert kick either. They're just going to go right back into play here.
Well, Zach, we did get that convert kick, so wasting no time there for sure. And 2 points is the difference. And I mean, my goodness, now the Hawks have really allowed this visiting team to come in and really feel quite good about themselves, and certainly deservedly so. I mean, they've played a hard-fought match.
Yeah, and we're patiently waiting to see how this first half is going to end, but oh man, this is a close battle between two teams where, you thought Humber, again, the defending provincial champions, yes, they have a lot of new bodies. That's a beautiful play there on the far side.
Yeah, can they maybe get a little bit of a play, something going here right before that whistle? That could really turn the tide, and again, maybe have Seneca heading into half not feeling so on top of the world. But solid defensive play right there is going to slow the roll of the home team. Another big tackle. This is maybe the biggest defensive moment of the contest. And again, just stopping that middle area. The Hawks are close, Zach. But things looking a little jammed up right now. And how about that? Not gonna go the Hawks' way.
Yeah, Seneca will take the possession right on back.
And there it is, Zach, after the first half, a 2-point lead for the reigning provincial champions as the Seneca Sting, after a slow start where Humber was building what looked like a promising lead, that has now gone away as the Seneca Sting come on strong late and bring it within 2.
Yeah, and you credit to Seneca, they battled to get it back to where they are right here, down by 2. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in that second half, but so far, partner, we have ourselves a really good rugby match.
And we'll be right back after a quick break for more OCAA men's rugby action. Stay with us.
blur. It's just it looks so blown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like on my end, and then like YouTube's like, because YouTube also brings so like a lot of times it'll look like a little bright, but then if you go on YouTube, it's like it's darkened.
Yeah.
Because it brings it down. That's what always misses. Like I'll be like, oh, this looks super bright, and then you go on YouTube and it looks fine. Or same with like it looks good, and then you go on YouTube and it's dark.
I found that YouTube also messes with like the audio.
Well, like we send it out in 1080, but the YouTube makes it basically they always drop the quality. We're starting soon.
Yeah, like no action.
Well, they started off good. Seneca's a bit bigger than them.
Everybody's got something to say to me, man. OCAA, hope they're watching. Huh? I thought you wanted that shit done. It's the same size. Yeah, I know. Green chase!
You're too old, man.
Oh, now mom's like,
You're too old, bro. You got points. Directly into the camera.
oh wow. And Is dad's he like, more sure. together than her? Oh yeah. Of course he'd say yes. Does he have Charlotte?
Welcome back here. Second half action. Again, it's Humber in their home opener taking on the Seneca Sting. Humber up 24-22. It was a very back and forth first half. The Hawks had a lot of opportunities. They just couldn't settle it. And Seneca, the chippy, scrappy Sting team, were able to get back into this one. Just trailing by 2 now. Humber trying to push the tempo here to get back on the board. A lot of pushing and shoving again. Very physical game early on. And this just gets booted right back down the field and picked up by the Sting. Whistle blows, and I believe it's going to be Humber ball, and it will be.
Well, Zach, here we go as Humber with possession here, and boy, this would be a big opportunity for them to maybe kind of flip the script here as Seneca was able to build all sorts of momentum. Looked like Humber might have been able to find their way into reestablishing some of that momentum. But that being said, it was Seneca with a big defensive stand late in the first half. So really, I think, Zach, the onus is on Humber to strike back here and cool the jets of what's been a very solid effort from Seneca, drawing their way back within 2.
Yeah, at one point, this was almost a 20-point game. And then Seneca, they decided to turn it on. They got 2 tries in quick succession to end out that first half.
Yeah, Zach, it was 24-8. And since then, it's been just 14 unanswered points. And that certainly spells trouble. You know, Zach, not many games in this OCAA men's rugby regular season, so you really can't afford, in terms of that postseason positioning, you know, to drop any games. And Zach, the format, the 2 top teams will get a bye into the semifinals. And you think about a physical sport like rugby, partner, just how valuable getting that quarterfinal round off would be, right?
Yeah, not only just to kind of, you know, rest and recuperate and like see who you're going to face after that first round. Oh, here we go.
picked off, and that one just sitting there, and the high IQ play reading that telegraph and uncontested as an early half score for the Hawks will really be quite a blow to all that momentum that Seneca was able to build.
That's a huge impact for the side of Humber. You're able to get a try right back on the board. And
take a look at this replay, Zach.
beautiful. Look at this, the step up into the interception.
He's just sitting there and picked up. Critical error. As the Hawks, who went quite a long time in between scoring, were gifted one to help them get the ball rolling. And will that be enough to kind of spark some of that early game offense we saw, Zach? Because ultimately the Hawks have seen a little bit of trouble getting it going on the offensive side and certainly able to capitalize there. But if Seneca cleans things up and doesn't give them anything easy like that, can the Hawks kind of regain their stride that we saw earlier in the game? And two more with that successful point after kick.
Good conversion kick. So Humber, again, they're able to extend this lead out a little bit more. But now the question is, how are you going to play the defense? You know, Seneca, they've been really chippy in getting the points back. And, you know, they have that never say die kind of attitude here in this match. So if you're Humber, how are you going to shut that down?
Yeah, back to a 10-point game. Scratch that, Zach. It's 31-21. So again, that 9-point difference.
Hey, partner, math is hard.
Okay, Zach, we've ironed it out. 31-22. This mid-September heat and sun getting to me, perhaps, partner. But at any rate, the Hawks with a big strike and Seneca with a chance to really respond and try to keep themselves in the driver's seat that they were able to step into over the last little while of this game. And Humber able to, looks like, scoop it up. Great work here. That is some cool footwork and trying to strip the ball. A little bit of rough stuff there you saw on the left side of the screen.
Talked about things getting chippy. Well, it's going to get chippy here in the second half. These two teams are battling. Again, it might be a short season. It might be early in this season, but they don't care. They're going to treat it like it's a playoff match. Looks like a little hip drop tackle right there.
Good yardage gained as this Seneca team continues with this offensive drive. Ball loose. And that's going to be Humber coming out with it as a whip to the ground there. And that's going to lead to a member of the Humber Hawks a little banged up there on one knee, with members of the training staff coming out to take a look.
Again, we've talked about the little extra pushing and shoving that's been going on here in this one, and we saw it right there.
And good to see that member of the Hawks walking off on his own power. So play will commence with Humber booting it away into the fescue. You know, Zach, last year we couldn't help but notice the pattern of players kicking the ball hilariously further out of bounds than perhaps necessary. As we joke, maybe taking a couple bounces onto the tarmac of nearby Pearson Airport. Haven't seen as much of that behavior here today.
Yeah, today it's been just outside the lines. Got a couple complaints from Air Canada about a rugby ball just bouncing down the tarmac.
Good move there, and that's going to lead to a huge gain.
That's just a great run.
Yeah, now on to the Seneca side here. Good exhibition, some powerful running right up the middle. And some great passing in tight to just continue to gain some distance here. And could this be Humber's offense really kicking back on into high gear? Again, we've seen them score in this half, but that was basically gifted to them. Rather uncontested on that previous try. So here come the Hawks facing the full force of the Seneca defense, and right now looking pretty good and gaining some ground. And I'll put the kibosh on that as the Hawks losing a little bit of field position there. Oh, that pass took a while to get there. Humber able to make it work though, regain some ground, looking for that outside edge. And scooped up for just a brilliant play and another scoring effort for the Hawks on that far side.
And this is what we saw early on in that first half. Humber's offense was really rolling, but Seneca, they were never out of it, it felt like. They kept battling back. They kept on making it close. So Humber, now, you've put your foot back on the gas pedal. You can't ease up. You got to keep that foot down.
Yeah, in both halves, we've seen this strong start from the home team. But Zach, as we saw in the end of the first frame, Hawks didn't really finish that way. It was certainly was Seneca who were in the driver's seat. And for the Hawks, you mentioned it, got to keep that foot on the gas. Cannot allow the visiting team here to gear back up and maybe make this one interesting as we look at the score now, 36-22. A chance to add 2 more to the total and make it a 16-point game. But for now, we're scratch that, partner. We'll have to wait because a member of the Sting is, as you can see, getting taken care of there and limping his way back to the sideline there. Kind of in the line of fire for this convert kick.
Yeah, you can see the ref holding everything up. They're just trying to get him off the field so he can get looked at here by the athletic trainers. Quick shout out to all the athletic trainers here. Obviously, rugby, very physical sport, so you got to be on your toes.
Oh, no question. Not just from the size of these teams, Zach, the amount of athletes that are out there, and we'll need a little bit of this, a little bit of taping before the game, what have you. But then, of course, the physical style of this sport, yeah, certainly keeps that team busy. So hats off to that side of things. The athletic therapists and training staff here on hand today.
I always learn about new taping styles when it comes to rugby. I haven't seen it so far today, but I saw it a lot last year where you just tape around your head. And I feel like that's a little uncomfortable if this tape is just right on the hair, pulling some hair out.
Now, Zach, as far as I understand, that is getting the ears maybe pinned to the head, so we're not getting some of the cauliflower ear type of situation. But again, don't take my word for it.
That would make sense. Partner, if you look to your right, I'm pretty sure Howie Hawk has a phone stuck in his mouth right now, recording the POV.
Yeah, Howie Hawk and a young fan of the Seneca Sting have really been going at it. A little bit of good-natured
I know you look at
back and forth going on between those
him
two.
into a high five.
Yeah,
gave the
and
high
she
five
pulled
and
it
said,
away.
Let's go Seneca.
Yeah, I know, that's
Howie
tough for
was-
Howie Hawk, but I'll tell you what, he might get the last laugh as the Hawks are trying to get the winning edge in the field, and right now
He was appalled.
took it in stride. So the sun shining here on the final Saturday of summer, Zach. That's one way you could look at it, because as we've mentioned, Zach, the season of autumn begins on Monday. Now you're getting it.
Only took me a couple tries.
And for Seneca, they're hoping for a little Saturday upset, as they have really played strong here today, although the Hawks here in the second half have been able to play well, but just marching forward. That was pretty epic, Zach. A lot of Hawks draped all over the big fella, but not able to bring him down. Almost a cartoonish carry there as he just brought the whole Humber team with them. Can Seneca turn it into points, though? Whistle blown. Seneca will have it. Humber got to tighten up here. This could be a big counterpunch for the Sting. They can find a way into the scoring area.
I think Humber might have just gotten possession right on back there. You can hear the electricity in the voices.
Just a great rugby match we're being treated to here. The Brampton Rugby Club is the home field of the Humber Hawks. It's always fun to be out here as we sit just in front of the clubhouse, Zach.
Got a plane in the distance, partner. It's going from London to Detroit. If you're ever outside and you're bored, I highly recommend you download Flight Radar 24, and you can just watch planes flying overhead. It's a fun time.
Well, certainly no shortage of air traffic just based on our proximity to Pearson International Airport here in Toronto. But how about the Hawks, Zach? They were really pushed up against their own area and finding all kinds of space here. And the Jets being activated on the outside. And the boot, are we going to get a favorable bounce here? Wow, an all-out foot race for this one. And defensively able to get there as the Sting kick it out. Wow, that was an exciting play, Zach, and you just saw the all-out mad dash, and I bet you a couple players are huffing and puffing right now. You see some kind of bent-over postures as players catching their breath after a pretty electric play.
Yeah, that was almost another golden chance to get more points on the board out of the Hawks. But the defense for Seneca steps up mightily in a big time. I think they're going to set up a scrum.
So on one end, Humber pinned up against their own goal line, finding a way to keep the Sting from scoring here as Seneca still scoreless in the second half. But now it's on the opposite side. Humber in that position, just a few feet away. Scooped up, trying to just muscle it forward. Good stop as Seneca able to get the rock. Good movement outside, but strong tackling. Well done there by the Hawks, as it looked like there was some space to work with, but just solid tackling on the perimeter to help kind of slow the roll of the Sting. Can Humber find that in-goal area for the third time here in just the first portion of this second half?
They are threatening. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted, partner. Having fun with some planes.
Well, we got some beautiful blue skies to work with here, partner, so take it in while you can.
Got distracted by a plane going from Chicago to Istanbul. Interesting flight.
That's a heck of a flight, partner.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Better buckle up for a long one there.
So got to give credit to Seneca here. Obviously, they were backed up to their own try line, and they're slowly pushing it back out. They're slowly giving themselves a little bit more room here. But again, it's this never say die attitude. That's what's really impressed me the most.
In play as Seneca really playing well here and pushing Humber back, back, back. But the Hawks are going to advance it, and oh my goodness, the Jets have been engaged, and that is just putting on the burners. And Humber scoring again as their lead continues to grow. The Hawks were up by as much as 16 in the first half.
I believe that was Gospel that just went cruising down the sideline.
Yeah, not many players will be able to put on a display like this. That is absolutely leaving him in the dust. That was just foot speed straight ahead. And that puts the Hawks up by we'll see how much after this convert kick.
And we did get the confirmation it was Gospel Oganawa.
Yeah, one of those returning players for Humber, and we saw the impact he made last year in that provincial championship winning effort. In this early season, the Hawks 1-0 and looking to make it 2-0 as they add 2 more points to their total here today. 43-22 is where we stand. So that now a 21-point lead, Zach, the largest of the match.
And again, it was a play set up by Oganawa, who just really set it up, just driving down that sideline.
Charging right at those Seneca tacklers. As Humber looking to get set up, maybe land another blow and really try to put this game out of reach. You know, it's going to be big for Humber to keep that foot on the gas and not allow the Sting to crawl back into this one. Good job there to wrestle back possession. Seneca needs to land a counterpunch. They can't allow this second half to continue the way it's been going if they want to find a way to upset the reigning champions of the OCAA.
Well, Seneca would need to do what Humber has done here to start off the second half. They would need just that offense just kind of spring itself around. Just about 18 minutes left to go. And you noticed something there, partner. The coaching staff for the Seneca Sting, they have 2 set up in the tri-zone, and then they have 1 just on the sideline here. And they're kind of communicating via the earpiece, able to talk about substitutions, players coming in and out of the match. Technology, it's a wonderful thing.
I saw one of them with their flight app identifying some planes in the sky. No, that was just you, partner, actually.
No, yeah, it was just me getting
I'm getting
distracted.
confused.
Well, it was a cloudy morning, and then the clouds have just kind of evaporated.
Yeah, the sun is shining. And again, we'll take it while we can get it. Autumn is right around the corner as Seneca having to retreat a little bit right now. The Hawks swarming in. And some ferocious tackling there. But Seneca does hang on to the rock. And that pass was just met by a Humber tackler. And another pick and 2 plays just like that we've seen here in this second half. And ultimately, it looks like getting called
Offside.
back. So not going to go. But you know, Zach, we did see something similar that did work out for Humber. And yeah, maybe that time a little too good to be true, partner.
Yeah, the step up was a little too quick that time, and they called the offside.
And that's a big moment here for Seneca. Maybe to see as a wake-up call and really lock in here as we get into the later stages of this match here. Good job by Humber to win that battle. And right back, a taste of their own medicine as Seneca able to steal an errant pass, and that is exactly what we saw for the opening score of this half. And
that helps them.
That's huge, Zach.
Well, not only, again, do they get that interception and then the try, but it's, again, a great position to get those extra 2 points. And this was kind of what we saw Seneca do in that first half towards the end, of where they were able to get back into the game, get the score close, and threaten. They're doing it here again, partner.
Those mistakes, the self-inflicted ones, and a pretty easy convert kick here to follow up.
That gets booted almost all the way down to the Powerade Center.
It's almost clipped the wing of that flight from Chicago to Istanbul, partner.
That'd be impressive. Imagine if a kick got up that high.
I was telling my girlfriend yesterday, I have a memory, kid Zach, of my dad drop kicking a soccer ball into the clouds and it disappearing, but surely that did not actually happen. But
I don't know. I'd believe you.
maybe it's still up there.
Maybe a very cloudy day. Clouds were a lot lower
Fog,
than normal.
maybe.
Fog,
I
yep,
have that
little bit of
memory,
fog.
but it could just be totally manufactured.
It's okay. I believe you, partner.
And a poorly executed kick will not go the required distance. And with that, Seneca coming off a score, now down by only 14. This has really changed the complexion here, Zach. It looked like the Hawks, and again, very similar dynamic to that first half. The difference is Seneca is going to have to really put their nose to the grindstone here and make up for some lost ground. It's certainly what we saw them do in the first half. They ended up within 2 points as we went into that halftime break. And what a victory of this would be if Seneca can find a way to pull this off against the defending provincial champs. And again, Zach, just how important each regular season game is in this very short 6-game regular season. You know, moral victories don't count for a whole lot, Zach, but I mean, I think it could really be something to take away for Seneca, even if they are able or not able to upset the Hawks today. I mean, they have played very strong against a tough opponent in Humber.
Yeah, they've pushed the reigning champs to the brink, it feels like, here, and they've actually had to work the entire game.
Strong physical play there. A little hand fighting turns into a little giving him the business on the back end of that tackle. Strong run. Taking a few Humber tacklers to bring him down as we got a shoe that has been absolutely removed and thrown away.
Interesting. You can hear the players discussing
Yeah, I
amongst
was
each
pretty
other,
engrossed
you know?
in that conversation. You see
Yeah.
some members of the Sting, or one in particular, unhappy with a little extra shove he got. Another member of his squad saying, let's just play rugby. Let's not get too caught up in trying to appeal for a decision that's probably not going to be made here by the referee.
And that's just really good leadership. And I think that speaks a lot of volumes for Seneca, is to have a player that's saying, it's okay, I understand, but let's just play rugby. Let's just play our game. And, you know, if you can have people like that step up in moments like this where you're trailing, you understand, hey, we just got to keep our heads in the game. That can speak volumes down the road.
But for now, we are still in quite a game here with the Sting down 14. And that would mean 2 tries and 2 successful converts to tie this one up. So things got to go pretty well for the Sting here, Zach, if they want a chance to just tie it up. Roughly 10 minutes to go here in this first half. Pardon me, the second half. Strong tackle. A lot of players coming together there. Ball loose.
Sting, you can hear some of the fans saying, you got 8 minutes left to go. You know, your time is slowly crunching down. You got to play your game. 43-29 is the score.
Well, good job here for Seneca. They've, again, not really allowed Humber to continue their offensive stride, and that's kind of mission number one, is prevent the Hawks from adding to their lead. This 14-point deficit is certainly a tall enough mountain to climb with the minutes kind of ticking away here. So hats off to Seneca on that side of things, but now, Zach, you got to think they would like to see, especially for the sake of, you know, just having a little bit more of a realistic look, get a score quick here, not put too much pressure on the team in just the last few minutes, as we get a big waft of smoke coming over from the barbecue partner.
Yeah, the burgers smell good.
They smell great. Some and Seneca continuing to charge forward here. Big battle here. Good, strong effort here by the Hawk defenders. Can Seneca find a lane here? Little excellent play there to find some space. Going around now, looking for a bit of open space, but the Hawks do a good job of kind of closing things down. Continuing to march forward, slowly but surely are the Sting. A bobbled pass not helping the cause, but finding a edge here, brought down. And that's another big play for Seneca as they get even closer here.
Yeah, they're just slowly trying to push the pace. If they can get one try here in quick succession, it would be huge.
Got a couple banged up Hawks. I mean, there's bodies all over the field right now, partner.
Yeah, things are just getting real scrappy. A lot of players are down right now. About 3 or 4 players that are just kind of getting looked at right now.
Yeah, so that'll bring quite a pause to the action as we sort through a couple different situations. Looked like one member of the Hawks just was cramping up and the trainer was out there quick. Might even been a member of the coaching staff to stretch him out, but
Do you know the number one rule when it comes to not cramping up?
bananas and
Exactly.
water.
There you go. Got to eat bananas. Monkey never cramps because monkeys eat bananas.
Is that what you heard in the baseball days? Was that a maxim from?
That was Munenori Kawasaki with those words of wisdom, former Toronto
Ah.
Blue Jay. Monkey never cramp because monkey eat 2 bananas a day.
Well, partner, yeah, kind of unexpectedly hot and sunny here today, as we did kind of get an advertised cold day, but not coming to fruition here. But these players are kind of slowing down a bit there. It looked like maybe expecting a stoppage in play. It doesn't come. Seneca has been so close here, Zach, but not able to find a try so far. All it takes is one play, and then their prospects will be looking a lot good as they're trying to complete this comeback.
Look how quick they pounce onto the ball.
Yeah, right back on the doorstep now here. Pushing it to the outside. Hawks swarming and shutting things down on that angle of attack. Big, strong tackle. The forward push was met by a heavy, heavy defensive play there. And again, we're just right on that goal line area. Humber showing no quit here, but it does look like Seneca is well positioned.
Yeah, if Seneca wants to try to get back into it, they need a score as soon as possible with time dwindling down on them.
Looks like Humber getting issued a yellow card.
Seneca have been trying to be the aggressors here in the later stages, but it might be an incident of just too little too late.
Brought down. Humber looking to stand strong or at least continue bleeding time off the clock. A little bobble, but that pass is handled. Now it's on the turf, scooped up. Frustrating there for Seneca as a mishandled pass is looking to maybe prove quite costly. Looks like Humber will try their best to flip the field here, maybe give themselves a little breathing room, and that's just the defensive play that has really stepped up here late in the second half for Humber, Zach.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the Hawks, they understand the time of this match and that they can just kind of play till they can run up the clock. Again, they had 3 tries scored in this second half, and it's just been a really, really good game out of Humber. The reigning and defending provincial champions.
Zach, we got a flight going by in the top left of the screen. How quickly can you ID where that craft is landing from? We'll wait on that as we get scrum deep in Humber's zone. The Hawks looking to keep Seneca from crossing that goal line once more. As a 14-point lead, the Hawks are hoping is enough to provide them with their second win of the season. Seneca looking to answer as they got different ideas. Moving forward, and boy, it must just be so close. Tough to tell from our angle, Zach. That looks like it is right there on the doorstep.
They are tiptoeing with that try line right now, and they understand that a score here would be so huge.
Not finding it there. Hawks continuing to answer the bell, but again, not a long way to go. Stolen away as it's ripped out. Seneca will be awarded the call here. And it looks like Seneca able to get the score, Zach.
Yeah, I think they might have gone across the line, and they did. So, well, things get interesting here, the entire stages. Again, we've hit that 40-minute mark. So, obviously, Seneca, if they want to get this game closened up or, you know, continue the play, they would need probably 2 tries. 2 tries and 2 convert kicks.
And so they've got the 1 try. They need the convert kick. This is huge. And it's good. So that now puts Seneca within 7, partner. 36-43.
Yep, there you go, partner. 43-36. You're usually the one that's quick on the math draw here, so kind of surprised me when you come to me with those.
Did you get to ID the flight, Zach, or?
It was coming from Charlotte. You want another one? I got a bunch there. That one, Toronto to Veradero, I believe. Veradero.
Oh, shout out.
If you want to tune in afterwards, Twitch streaming. I'm just kidding. We're not going to be streaming flights.
Well, Zach, I'll tell you what. We're coming down to the wire. This is the biggest offensive drive of the game for the Seneca team.
Yeah, they need a score here more than anything. Humber are just going to try to shut them down and get this ball out of play, so that final whistle can be blown. But here come the Sting.
And making some ground, but the pass was right into the Seneca sideline, and kind of a collision there with some people getting tangled up. But that will likely allow Humber a chance to maybe counter and kill off some valuable clock. Good push. Look at this. My goodness. 15 yards and counting have been gained here.
I'm pretty sure the ball carrier, he was standing in the air. His feet were not touching the ground anymore.
And how about this play from Humber as the pass? Nobody home. Booted and now chasing after it. Scooped up with a whole boatload of Humber tacklers in the area. And making their way back down to the field. Boy, the Hawks are just doing their best to keep Seneca at bay, but the fight from the visiting team is on full display here. So it'll be a whistle. Seneca with the rock here, deep in their own end.
I was fully ready, partner.
Yeah, it was kind of coming our direction there. Ball kicked towards the broadcast booth. At any rate, it will be closer to.
Felt like C.D. Lamb downfield to a Dak Prescott pass right there.
Okay, Zach, line out here. We've seen Seneca with some strong play in this part of the game throughout this match. And once again, effectively getting that, but a violation against the Sting, much to the chagrin of the Seneca faithful right in front of the play here. Okay, line out here for Humber. Now let's see if they can answer the call. Well executed.
A lot of the Seneca faithful, you hear them saying, ball don't lie. They're staying alive in this one.
Hawks need to tighten up here as a try and convert would make this a tie game. This is threatening here as we have seen the Seneca team really gain some ground deep into Humber territory. Making some ground. This is continuing to look threatening here. Okay, call will go in favor of the Sting. Tense moments here, Zach. This is just a great OCAA men's rugby contest finish here. And how will it end?
You can hear all the fans to our right side here. They're all the Seneca faithful getting loud for their team. They're trying to push here in the dying seconds.
Solid tackle there. Can the Hawks answer the bell? They are being tested right now in a big way. Oh my goodness, now looking like mere feet away. Running into his own man, and the Humber tackler catching up, losing a bit of territory. Back in towards the middle, quickly brought down. Looking for some space. A good effort there to advance the ball. Solid tackle. The Humber defenders right there in position, Zach, and that is going to continue to allow the Hawks just a little bit of breathing room This could be dangerous, though.
Yeah, the defense is stepping up in a mighty way right now.
Oh, wow, that was close. Thought maybe the try was on hand there. Back within striking distance there. And official blowing the whistle here, so slowing that play down. Seneca fans making some noise.
This is a fun ending to this game, eh?
Yeah, great
this
atmosphere
is a great
here
one
at
here.
Brampton Rugby Club. Yellow card issued to Humber. The Hawks need one more stand. Can Seneca play mistake-free here in crunch time? And if they can just get a try right up the gut here, give themselves a favorable convert kick, that's their pathway to tying this one up at 43.
Yeah, they've been playing very scrappy, very gritty so far today.
Member of Humber still getting looked at there. You see in that in-goal area that member of the Hawks who's now made their way to their feet. High-scoring affair, good offense from both sides. Pass high and corralled. Humber need to be quick, and they swarm out there. And the Hawks standing tall again. Man, what a defensive sequence here. Oh, that's a big play there as Humber kind of over-pursued the ball. And I'm not sure if just off frame we have some funny business and a lot of players running over. It looks like a bit of a brouhaha popping off right now. And we can't see a dang thing from our vantage point, partner, but it does look like things have maybe cooled off a little bit.
Emotions flying here in this match, and
Well, Zach, I think we have some members of the Humber Sports Network broadcast team. This could be their first rugby game they're seeing. And, you know, the intensity on full display.
I mean, I think everybody's on their feet right now, both sides.
So official ruling here is still being ironed out, but that was an intense little brouhaha that kind of spilled off the sideline and into the kind of out of bounds area. With a Bowen 737 landing in the background there. You see flying low, heading into
Pearson.
the airport. A red card issued. So I think Humber will be without number 15.
Looks like that plane's coming from Cancun. They left hot weather to come to even hotter weather.
Feels like, yeah, a little Cancun-like here today with the sun shining. This has been quite the second half, and similar vibes in both halves, right? In terms of Humber starting strong and then Seneca really coming on strong in the late going. But all that boils down to this. Okay, you hear somebody from the field, one of the players yell out, last push. Lay it all out on the line, right? This game has a little bit of everything, Zach, but right now it's the question in the air is, can Seneca charge back and tie up this game? They're well positioned. And you got to imagine there's not a whole lot of time left here to work with. The scrum still not quite to the officials' liking.
Yeah, the biggest question, like you said, is can Seneca push through to tie up this game, or can Humber hold? That is the big question. Which side will come out on top here?
Here we go. It's picked up. There's the tackle made. Pushing back into that midfield area. Well, Dipsy Doodle. And that's going to be a fruitful carry forward. Making some progress are the Sting. Seneca being dealt a pretty hard tackle there. Member of the Hawks, worse for wear on all fours, so Humber going to be down a member on the inside, although he does finally get back to his feet, which is good news. The Hawks need everyone they can get here on this defensive effort. Ball loose and taken away by the Hawks, but official awarding it right back to the Sting.
They are right just outside of that try line.
Just can't quite solve the Rubik's Cube of this Humber defensive effort. Every possible crack or lane that Seneca are looking to exploit, the Hawks just seem to be there, jamming things up.
Another yellow card issued towards Humber.
It's been seemingly an eternity since the Hawks have been able to get a grip on this ball. And that's what they want to do, to just put this one away. Strong run. Okay, Zach. There's the try. Seneca's fans are fired up. Now, that being said, Zach, we do have a convert kick that is at somewhat of a challenging angle, and so right now the score 41-43, and everything coming down to this kick right here.
Yeah, this is going to be the biggest kick of the game. This is the push. Seneca, they threatened for the last probably 10 minutes, just pushing and pushing and pushing, and they kept possession every single time. But like you mentioned, this is the biggest kick of the game right here.
Seneca hoping to tie it up with this. Getting some well-deserved cheers, these Seneca players, as their fans are happy with the effort, but it's all coming down to this. Not exactly the easiest convert kick. It is makeable. And it is no good. It sails just a bit to the right, and oh no. And that will do it. The Humber Hawks improve to 2-0, and a understandably crestfallen kicker can't believe he missed it by just that much.
Like the words in Buffalo, wide right. Tough one for the side of the Seneca Sting. I mean, they really put on a great effort to try to battle back into this one. Here's another look at the kick. You can see the uprights there, and yeah, just wide right.
Oh, and it looked like it might have been good, right? You saw some Seneca fans who thought it had the right line. And that will do it. Final score 43-41 in favor of the home team. It's been a great pleasure having you with us here from the Brampton Rugby Club. Zach, any parting words as we look ahead to the later stages here as we just got this rugby season going and a great contest here to bring the Hawks to 2-0?
Yeah, well, if you're Humber, obviously you're amped to be 2-0. You played a really strong game. If you're the side of Seneca, do not hang your head. I mean, you just took the reigning champions to the brink, and you really pushed it forward. That was a great game by the Seneca Sting, something to really build momentum moving forward in the season. But if you're the Hawks, you're continuing to roll. You're happy to be atop of that division, and you'll look to try to get back again in the win column next time out.
And as the players shake hands, we've been honored to have you with us here today, watching here on the Hawk Sports Network. For my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit, and myself, Matt Hamill, will step aside and see you next time.